Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumption or belief.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves
And for generations to come.
This
is That Thing of Ours.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us on this Monday, 14th of October, 2024. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
and if you haven't already, please take a moment and can you turn my headphones up? And give us that virtual hug. If you're over on Rumble
How's
or
that?
YouTube, really loud, but no, now it's too low. Anyway, if you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on
Oh, there we go.
pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And you have like 5 choices over on Facebook.
Clickety, clickety.
Clickety click. Let's say hi to everyone.
Hello to everyone.
F Clin's in the house.
What's up, F. Clan?
Steph is in the house.
Hey,
at
Steph.
Look at
What's
Steph
going
being
on?
second.
I know, Steph was second today. That's pretty cool.
I know.
And I know we got people over on Pilled. Got to have Lightspear over there.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
What?
Yeah, not yet.
Lightspear, for shame.
There's Mike.
What's up, Mike? How you
There's
doing, man?
Colleen.
Hey, Colleen. Thank y'all for joining us. Everybody, it's Monday. Everybody's going to be rolling in as they roll in.
rolling.
Rolling.
There you go. So,
Anyway,
you ready?
are we just jumping right in?
Yes.
Okay, it's a
Oh,
Monday. Wait.
Jenny!
Jenny! Oh, God, I wasn't even ready, Jenny. Okay, hold on. Let's try that again. Jenny!
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny.
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny. It is a Monday.
It is. But I got sassy, and he's talking about the third attempt on Trump's life.
Yeah, right?
Ready?
Yeah,
I know.
it's Monday.
It's Monday. Let's go.
Breaking news on a possible third attempt thwarted on Donald Trump's life. Hell, at this point, who can keep up with him all? A fucker like Kingpin, Al Capone. This happened at a rally day in California. They're saying there's no evidence that he was trying to take him out. But listen, they arrested this fucking fucker named Vim Miller. He's 49 years old and he looks shady AF. He had an unregistered vehicle going through a rally checkpoint in Coachella. That flagged the authority. He had fake identity, faked to being a member of the press. They said he was carrying a shotgun, a loaded handgun, high-capacity magazine. These things flagged him to drag his ass off to the pokey. The local law enforcement, Secret Service, all the 3-letter agencies are calling this a win. The local sheriff is sure they probably stopped another attempt. They go on to say he was never in any actual danger. Just like the last 2 times. He paid a $5,000 bail, got released, because you know that makes sense. Going to court in January in 2025. Say he's part of a right extremist group, claims to be a sovereign citizen or some shit. And is anti-government. Ain't they always? Every single person that's trying to take out the Republican candidate is always a Republican, because that makes a lot of fucking sin. What was he doing trying to get close to with unregistered vehicle and unregistered gun? Insert eye roll. Sus as fuck to me. You go down the rabbit hole, see if there's any black rocks in it. You know, yeah. Keep you posted. More to come.
See if
Any
there's-
black rocks?
see if there's any black rocks in it. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the advertisement to pop up. It shows this clown in there. What? Really? They're trying to say it was a conservative. They're trying to say it was a Republican
Yeah.
that hates Trump for some reason.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Why would a Republican hate Trump? I mean, unless you're like that Mitt Romney kind of, fake Republican, or the Liz Cheney or something like that. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Who are they trying to sell that to? The left. It's got to be the left. It's the people who watch MSNBC. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
It's befuddling.
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 What
that-
do you see? What Jenny said? This last one doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't add up. Mike says, I believe the sheriff is trying to get attention. That's a possibility. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that, let's talk about it. It's Coachella. It's where all the hippy dippy do all the drugs, love, peace, chicken grease kind of crap that they do. So yeah, they're probably trying to cover, and it would be a safe place that they thought that maybe they'd be able to pull off some stunt. But I think that the thing that we can recognize here, and the thing that's important is that at least the security is pushing them out before they have a chance to get into their sniping position. I think so long as the snipers aren't able to get into their sniper spot, then hey, we're at least doing better than we were before. So maybe they're cleaning out some of the problems over there in the Secret Service that have been causing problems for, well, the safety and security of the free world.
You see what Steph said?
Steph says, already been debunked. They're trying to make it worse than it is. Of course, they're trying to make it worse than it is. I mean, something we found out is that, did y'all know that Chrysler went bankrupt? Did anybody hear about Stellantis going bankrupt, and that basically there's not going to be any more Jeeps or anything like that? Like they're shutting down the Jeep factory? Just throwing that one out there. That's what happens. They try to hide a whole bunch of stuff that shows that it's all going to hell in a handbasket when there's big news going on. So that's another thing that these shady people actually used the hurricanes for, was to obscure the fact that one of the big three automakers has gone under. I mean, they've been going under for a long time now. I mean, let's be serious. F. Clint says, see, even conservatives want them dead, say the media. Yeah, again, doesn't make sense. Then where are these half of the American populace, at least? Why are they voting for him?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
I agree with Mike.
Mike says, most national citizens are strange. Most don't believe in tags for cars or license. Mike, we went down that rabbit hole for a long time. I believe that there is some validity to what they're saying, but I think that it's one of those false rabbit holes that leads you directly into something that's not working. I've yet to meet anybody who's got the millions of dollars and all that other jazz simply because they sent in some paperwork to the Fed, basically saying, hey, I want my money back. It's like, that doesn't even make sense to me in terms of how the government works, and how, like, they're you caught us, you filled out a piece of paper, I guess we got to let you go now.
I know.
Anyways, I find that to be a little bit ridiculous.
I know.
But should the government be doing 90% of the stuff that they do? No, at least they're right about that. Steph says, dang, I have a Jeep, but no, I didn't hear about it. Yeah, I know, it blew me away too. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, Jeep's done.
Yeah.
Not that they were making high quality Jeeps anymore in comparison to what they used to. Mike says he's been down the same hole. Yeah, some of them just lead to nothing. And I think that that's kind of part of this awakening process that we go through is we find all of these, once you find out that you've been lied to about so much, then you have to find out exactly what you've been lied to about. And then what is, your course of action beyond there. And yeah, I just felt that one was a
There's
trap.
Light
There's Light Spirit and Bethany Ann.
Yes, Bethany Ann.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining.
Exactly.
As Steph says, she got one from '05. Still
Yeah.
driving it, no problems. Yeah, praise be to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still made good ones. I think that it's all of this electro wizardry that they keep putting in everything. All these cars that can drive themselves, which is only marginally better than the way people normally drive anyway. So yeah, maybe we should just be more selective on who we issue a license to. But yeah, there's that. Or if the courts would actually support the police officers, and when they give out tickets for distracted driving, then that would probably help out too. But I mean, it is what it is, right?
Exactly. You ready?
Yeah.
You want to read that, please?
Judge Joe Brown destroys Heels Up Harris over casting couch in explicit character demolition. Oh man.
You ready?
Oh yeah. Is she?
We'll see.
We'll see.
But I gotta ask you about Kamala Harris. How you feel about her?
She's a piece of shit. I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than researching. She's always tried to do the casting couch to get where she wants. Now, the problem is that'll get somebody to a certain level quickly, but you can't get past that level if you don't have competence and talent. So my thing about it is if I'm crude about it, in this city years ago, I used to represent a whole bunch of pimps and hoes, and I know a hoe when I see one. And I say this, I don't care, women, you do what you want to do if you want to have recreational sex, but when you do the casting couch or anything else for professional purposes to get paid or advance, you a hoe. And she's old hoe. And the problem is what is she supposed to do? Somebody, one of her sycophant slaves comes up and unwraps her in a carpet naked at Putin's feet, and he says, oh yeah, I'm Julius Caesar. He said, no, ho, I got better stuff here already. Plus, I don't want you anyway, you old woman. Get on up, Or Xi Jinping, is he supposed to be impressed? She's doing word salad. Well, we're here today because China and the U.S. are here today, and that's why we have to agree on what we're doing here today. Like, fool, what did you just say? Did you say anything?
Thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, he just obliterated her. That's epic. And if that was the foreign policy route we were going to take, couldn't we have picked like Katy Perry or like somebody better? I mean, Kamala. That's the best we have to offer. If we're going to hook out our, what our country does.
Yeah.
And I think it was hilarious. He said it can only get you so far up, so quick, and then you got to have competence. Yeah, don't type in casting couch on the search. Yeah, you don't want that in your search history.
Oh, Jenny, I'm glad you like them.
Oh, Jenny, they really do absorb the water, don't they? Isn't it like
And
it's
they came
surprising?
fast too, she said.
Yeah, that they did come fast, didn't they? Yeah, they're serious about it. Yeah, I'm very happy that you do like your MyPillow towels. By the way, short plug before we get back to it. Please, support Mike Lindell. It also supports us. Go to mypillow.com/DTOO.
Hold on a minute.
What? Well, no.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow. Towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know you can get our 6-piece My Towels, regular $69.98, now only $29.98. Or you can save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels, made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Also, we have bath sheets, bath towels, washcloths, hand towels, and so much more. And the best part, with your promo code, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all My Towels. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
All right.
Thank you. But unexpected commercial there. Anyways, I'm glad you really enjoyed them, Jenny. That's awesome.
Mm.
Anyways,
That
back to the
makes me happy.
judge. What
Yeah,
he was
back
saying.
to the judge.
Yeah, back to the
I
judge.
love him.
So
He's like my hero.
he's right. Normally, you can only get so far. So, what does that say about the talent pool that's available for the Democratic Party to like put forth? That's the best y'all got. You don't have anybody that's got two brain. I mean, clearly Nancy's been drinking too much, and
What?
well, I mean, it's like who's left? Can't have Joe. Can't have Nancy. I guess Kamala is their best bet.
Yes,
Yeah.
I guess. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Wait, Lightspear says the whole USA is Peyton place that lives sordid lives. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm assuming Peyton Place is pretty much like a
Yeah.
House of Cards kind of thing.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to read that?
Scott Jennings drops truth bombs all over apoplectic CNN panel.
Ready?
Yeah.
It was a rough week. I mean, her faves are down. They're struggling with, I mean, the front page of the New York Times this morning, Democrats struggling with African-American voters, particularly African-American men. This gender gap issue is real. It's a real problem. And you see the Democrats reacting to it. And I think what they are now finally in October, the election, coming to realize is that a lot of men think Democrats care more about dudes who want to become women than dudes who just want to be dudes.
Well,
and
that's crazy.
no hunting, cosplay, or cringy videos is going to change it. The bet is made. Working class men, whether you're black, Hispanic, or white, persistently, consistently do not believe the Democratic Party and specifically Kamala Harris are going to do a thing for them. They've been told that they're the problem, and I suspect they're going to rise up on election day and tell the elites who told them that you're wrong.
All right.
Thoughts?
So, that's interesting hearing coming from CNN, but I also believe that CNN is recognizing that they have to change their format to something more American and less communist Ted Turner, Jane Fonda kind of shit that
I
they've
can't stand
been doing forever. Well, since the start of CNN. So it's interesting to hear these kinds of things. What he's speaking is the truth. That could very much be kind of letting the Democratic Party know that they're not on solid ground and that they really do need to get used to the concept that she's really not offering anything for the people. I think that this is a predictive programming kind of exposure, getting people ready to the idea and concept that Kamala's just not going to win.
See what Chachi says?
Chachi says, seems like the mainstream media works for us full time now as well. Yeah, it's starting to look that way, isn't it?
It really is.
But I do believe that the things, I know that they're still going to go back to their old ways, at least in a little bit. But at the same time, I believe that the mainstream media, all of them are going to have to change the way they do business because it's just getting to the point where nobody's watching them. But I also know that as the powers that be that are in charge, I'm going to say the white hats are in control. I'm going to say that that's what this kind of looks like right now. I'm also going to say that that's how they're keeping tabs on who's actually believing that line of shit still. And that's why we're going to start seeing it. They're going to start slowly pushing people, at least to the point where they don't even feel like they need to go vote, kind of thing. The exact same shit they've been doing to the people who have wanted like an actual version of what this country is supposed to be, even though we've been lied to for hundreds of years.
Well, speaking of mainstream media,
Mhm.
listen to this. You want to
No.
read that?
Weird Democrats.
No. Look down here.
Greg Gutfeld incinerates Catholics who think supporting abortion is better than supporting Trump.
Ready?
Yeah.
If you are a Catholic and you are upset about Donald Trump's character, and yet you are okay with voting for a person who wants abortion on demand, you're worse. I'm sorry, you're worse. And I'm not making, I'm just saying from when you analyze the beliefs of a Catholic being pro-life, you have no stance at all. If you are okay with abortion, you can't say, oh, Trump has a lousy character. No, you got no character. You have none.
Thoughts?
So as I'm seeing this, it's kind of making me think of Q's drop a Delta for today, October 14th, back in 2020, and it's the movie poster "Hunters Become the Hunted." And I know that it may not look anything like anybody's out there getting hunted, but then again, they really are. Their character is being assassinated when they would have had complete cover from the media, which has been looking less and less like cover over the past couple weeks at the very least. And now there's a straight up character assassination. Also, they're calling out religion, like people of a certain religion that agree with things that are counter to what their religion's actually supposed to. What on earth has happened here? Lost connection to my camera. Of course you have.
Oh my goodness.
Lord Almighty. All right, so I'm gonna have to refresh here. Apparently, we need to go to a.
You didn't say hi to Agent Smith.
Oh, what's up, Agent Smith? Thank you for letting us know you're there. Yeah, things aren't looking in your favor right now, but that's all right. Forgiveness is a thing. Keep that in mind. There we go. All right. Aren't both Walls and Kamala hunters as of late? Yeah, that's another thing. I forgot about that.
I've got some stuff on them.
Yeah. Okay,
not?
good. Well, they don't look like hunters, I can tell you that, and it doesn't look like they're being hunted. But yeah, they're certainly not hunters.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
You want to read this?
All right. Democrats wanting to end Columbus Day are pawns in the globalists' agenda.
Ready?
Yeah.
Well, it's Columbus Day, or as the Democrats like to call it, what is it? Indigenous Peoples Day, Inglorious Bastards Day. I don't know what they call it. They call it something weird, but it is Christopher Columbus, the day that we celebrate his quote unquote discovery of America. Now, we can debate history all day. Did Christopher Columbus really discover America? Was he really this, that? I don't care. You know, it's tradition. And when it comes to tradition, I generally like it. You know, I'm a traditional guy, I guess you could say. I married a trad wife, as they like to say. And so yeah, but on Columbus Day, there's been a lot of attacks already before, during, and I'm sure there will be attacks afterwards from Democrats, in particular Kamala Harris. Article over at hotair.com. Tone Deaf, Democrats diss Columbus Day. This is by David Strom, whose articles I've been reading more and more lately. I've got to contact this guy and find out what he's all about, because I think he does a great job. I think he does very well. Kamala Harris has many weaknesses as a candidate. We all know the word salad problem, of course, and her connection to Biden is another connection. But a quick look at the polling shows a sleeper issue. People worry that she is too left-wing and trying to hide the fact. Duh. They worry about that for obvious reasons. She is a radical leftist who has spent a lifetime pushing woke ideology on citizens. While running for president in 2019, Harris made clear that she is all in on decolonizing America, a movement that has picked up steam and dominated left-wing activism for years. During a campaign stop in New Hampshire, she denounced Columbus and the colonization of the Americas, calling for renaming today's holiday Indigenous Peoples Day. Let's not play that. You guys, I'm sure you've probably seen it, and if you haven't, you're not going to see it here, because there's just no purpose there. She continues this theme while vice president, characterizing the complex history of European and Native histories as a simple story of oppressors and oppressed. Anybody familiar with the history knows that Cortez was only able to conquer what is now Latin America due to massive help from indigenous people who joined the Spanish in order to liberate themselves from a murderous regime. And again, more videos of Kamala, which we're not going to play. We need not debate the history and the moral ambiguity of Columbus's legacy to understand that embracing the denigration of European culture is a politically stupid move. The left hates Western culture and Western achievements, and Kamala Harris has embraced the left's narrative for her entire career. Gretchen Whitmer, Harris's campaign co-chair, reinforces this fact by apologizing to Native Americans for the existence of America. Not that she is much interested in actually giving back to Michigan, to the indigenous tribes, but she embraced the whole Europeans bad narrative, and I'm not going to play her either. We're going to save you guys. I'm going to try to limit the idiocy from the left today, and not play as much of it, play as little of it as possible, actually. Tim Walz has in the past gone further. He applauded BLM and Antifa rioters tearing down a statue of Columbus that stood proudly outside the Minnesota Capitol. As with his other actions during the George Floyd riots, he sided with the rioters and allowed the destruction of private and state property as a form of reparations to rioters. Point being is this: Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, Gretchen Whitmer, all of the radical leftists that are trying to take over this country from through this election and through whatever else they're going to do before, during, and after the election, their intention is to destroy the United States of America. They're no longer even hiding this fact. They want to tear it down, and they think they want to rebuild it. What they don't realize is that many of them, and I would say Kamala Harris falls into this category, many of them are just simply pawns of the globalist elite cabal. They think, oh, well, if we can tear down America and rebuild it under this Marxist vision, we can rebuild it with modern monetary theory, we can rebuild it with equity, inclusion, and diversity, we can rebuild. They don't care, they being the globalist elite cabal. They don't care if we rebuild it or not. Their intention is just to tear down the United States of America. What happens after that, if we get quote unquote rebuilt and become part of their 10 regional powers that are controlled by one centralized global power, if we're part of that, fine. If we're not part of that, if we're just completely destroyed and never rebuilt, fine. They don't care. They just know that they need us out of the way to achieve their goals. And Kamala Harris is the next and possibly final step for them to achieve and realize their machinations. Be sure to connect with me and my shows.
Happy Columbus Day, everybody.
Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Thoughts?
All right. So now I know, I wish I would have sent that video in. I had seen a video where they were showing an old map where it had Tartaria and it talked about the significance of Columbus's voyage to the New World. And this is very much one of those things to diminish the European ancestry type people. It's bullshit. It's what it is, though. They hate anything that is the expansion of the human mind beyond what they say. Keep in mind that these were the same people that were mocking the whole flat earth thing. They turned it into Columbus proved that the earth is a sphere, actually round, if nothing else, and that he made his way around. Also, with that being said, they tried to demonize Columbus as if he was, was he a saint? No, he was not. But at the same time, they were also getting attacked. He also took advantage of what was available to him at the time. We can't put our current moral compasses on somebody from 1492 as we sit here in 2024. It is 2024. Yeah, it's 24.
24.
Yeah, just making sure. It's been a couple of years. Maybe we should give Columbus a break with that. He had no knowledge of like disease and immunology or anything like that. So if the people got sick, sorry about that. I'm sure it was unintentional, but it's just, to diminish. And I think that as they go away, the swamp creatures, that is, that their version of history will get diminished, and the old versions of history that showed the truth with Tartaria and the fact that Columbus sailed around, all of these kinds of things, I think that it will become very clear as to what history, or a much closer idea as to what history looked like before these people started changing history to diminish, minimize, and enslave pretty much everybody. Jenny says, history is ugly and there to learn from. Exactly. But it explains why they would press Antifa and BLM to take down statues of historical figures. If we forget our history, then what do we really have? History is extremely important. That's why Texans are so proud of Texas. Why? Because Texas history is drilled into your head as a kid. I know this, and I love Texas, and the history of Texas is amazing. I'd love to hear more of the truth of it. Chachi says, there is talk about how Columbus was a converso, and left Spain a day before the Inquisition kicked out all non-Christians. That is interesting. It's a possibility. I know that the Inquisition was a thing. And of course, that gets twisted about how evil Isabella and Ferdinand were. But at the same time, people seem to forget that the Moors, the Muslim armies, were attacking into Spain, converting these people into a religion that they had no desire to convert to. So I would say that we need a much more honest look at history. Yeah, the history rabbit hole is something that you could spend an entire lifetime on. There's a lot that needs to be fixed there.
Yeah.
Chachi says St. Ignatius Loyola, the founder of the Jesuit order, was also a converso. Interesting.
You ready?
Yes.
You want to read that?
Yes. Actually, I got to blow this one up. Rob Smith reveals the craziest thing about privileged illegals versus American flea markets.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
So in New York City, if you're an illegal immigrant, you can do anything. But God forbid you want to have a flea market in Brooklyn, because if you don't have a vendor's license for that, they're going to shut you down. So right now, I'm in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. There are police officers. There's literally like 7 of them that are breaking up a flea market right now because people don't have vendor's licenses. But I can walk literally right around the corner and go see some illegal immigrants selling fruit, and see some illegal immigrants selling empanadas, and see some illegal immigrants selling candy, and nobody's going to break them up. But God forbid you try to have a flea market without a vendor's license, and there'll be 10 cops here to break it up. This is the crazy thing about living in New York City. It's like people that live here can't literally just do anything. But illegal immigrants who run around the city, they can sell candy, they can sell fruit, they can sell empanadas, they can do whatever and just get away with it. But God forbid you are a New Yorker and you're trying to have a flea market, then the police are going to shut you down. They always put illegal immigrants over Americans every single time.
Thoughts?
My thoughts is that this is exactly why the sovereign citizen movement is a thing.
Yeah.
It's like this is what encourages that, and I think that it's partially designed to send people down that specific rabbit hole, so that way they get lost and stuck and swirl around in that kind of thing and end up getting absolutely nowhere. I do believe. Well, I mean, I feel for the police officers because I know that they know that kind of stuff is BS. So they're put in a terrible spot. Like it's not a good spot to be in, especially when they have the exact same illegals attacking the police officers over there. So it's like, what?
Do they have to follow unlawful orders?
I don't believe so. I'm sure that it's similar with the military, where you are.
It just seems like they could.
You are not to follow illegal orders, and that seems like that would be an illegal order.
Yeah.
But the problem is that it's not an equal enforcement of the law. So therefore, I mean, a good lawyer in a non-corrupt state, you could probably sue and get away with that. But I also know that if I was to try to put up a fruit stand on the corner, that my butt would be taken down super fast.
Oh, yeah.
But how many things? Well, no, just American at this point in time.
Yeah.
But how many fruit stands and empanada stands and all these things have you seen?
Fresca, they're all over
Yeah,
the
they're
place.
everywhere.
I guarantee you they don't have no damn license.
Aaron, I got you. Aaron says, really can't feel for anyone whose excuse is just following orders. And there is no protection under the law for I was just following orders. Like there is no protection for that. And that includes the police officers. And I think that they understand that. Now, the problem is that this is denying the American people the right and the ability, their God-given right to be able to conduct commerce. So why are Americans not allowed to conduct commerce, whereas those who aren't here of a legal status allowed to conduct commerce? Now, we all know the answer to that. It's because they're trying to replace us. It is a great replacement and allowing these people to get a leg up while we flounder. It's only going to last so long. It's only going to last so long. I don't know if it's going to last until after the election, but I'm going to say, as it looks right now, it seems like we might be able to make it through the election and President Trump being inaugurated. But it's going to be pretty ugly. Jenny says, I believe they swear to uphold the Constitution. As a matter of fact, ma'am, they do.
There you go.
I just don't know what the New York Constitution is that would,
Right.
prevent this from happening.
Yeah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to love this one. I have been waiting all weekend to play this one.
Really?
For you. You ready?
All right. Yeah, I guess so.
You know, the enemy's throwing everything he has at us. It's meant to discourage you, distract you, just make you want to give up. But guess what? You and I was put here on this earth by God for such a time as this. We are unique people. We're fighters. You and I are warriors. We're spiritual warriors, and we're not giving up. And let me tell you something. Next month, we have an opportunity to put somebody back in office that's already brokered a peace deal with Israel in the Middle East. We've got an opportunity to put somebody back in office that turned our economy around. They got inflation under control. They got gas prices under control and reasonable. They had the food costs reasonable. We had a fighter for this nation. We had a fighter for you and I. And that same man is going to be back on the ticket. This is not the time to be passive. This is not the time to lay down and be standing in place looking up. You can't walk very far when you're looking up. You got a job to do. Put your nose down. Pursue your purpose, why God put you here. You're a fighter. You're a warrior. This is not the time to lay down. And let me tell you something about this man. People say, well, he's imperfect. He's done all that. Well, name me one person, one man in the Word of God that walked in perfection that God called to be a leader. Not one of them. The only one was Jesus Christ. You got to judge a man by his actions and not his words. His policies represent godly principles, and that's all I need. And I can tell you another thing. He bears a scar to remind him to listen to God's voice.
Thoughts?
So this is something that has been one of the greatest challenges since waking up. And that is to keep on when things don't look like they're going the way that you think they would.
Jan!
Hey, Jan, thanks for joining. You've been missing, and we've been missing you as well.
We have been missing you.
Yeah, we're
And
glad you're
so
back,
glad you're
even if it
back.
is for a bit.
I know. I bet you she's doing poll work.
Yeah, I know you've been busy.
Busy,
And
busy.
we appreciate what you're doing, Jan. You keep up the good work. And this is exactly one of the things. Jan's going out there doing the poll watching and stuff like that. And those are the things that are make you feel like you're able to get things done. It's going to make it feel like you're not just sitting there waiting for, the end of this movie to come when we're waiting to roll on this whole thing. And so we got to keep that positive mental attitude, keep that positive energy, and keep putting that out there. And that positive energy can be difficult at times, but that's where we turn to God. Again, like he was saying in the beginning of that video, you've been chosen for this, and figuring out exactly what it is that you need to be doing will give you some of that fulfillment and make the fears go away. It's that being active. It's that, getting out there and putting that faith into action. And that's going to look different for each and every person. And putting faith into action might just merely be listening to people and just, kind of talking to them and putting out a thing or two every now and then. That's the bit of truth. I mean, every situation is different, and only you know what you can do to make sure that you are bringing that positivity and that confidence that we are going to pull through this. These stories are written in the Bible where a country fell away from their faith in God, like ours has. And our country is starting to come back to that faith. And each and every time a nation that fell away from its faith in God. The Israelites fell away from their faith in God. Once they came back, they were forgiven and they were spared the disaster that was looming. And so spreading that faith is important, and spreading the truth is extremely important as well, even if people aren't ready for that faith conversation as of right now. It doesn't mean that they won't be ready, but their head needs to be in the right spot. And in the right spot is seeing the truth. The truth is that Kamala was not elected, that Joe Biden was not elected, that these people were put into place in means that are anti-democratic, very anti-republic of the United States. Jan says it has been interesting to say the least with the classes. I bet it has. You go vote next Monday. Nice. All right. Awesome. I'm sure that the response that Joe and Kamala did out there in your neck of the Appalachia, I'm sure that that's going to convince many, many people to keep what we have in place.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
I have to set the record straight on something. There was some misinformation put out on my podcast, The Sean Ryan Show, in regards to the Hurricane Helene episode. And I need to set the record straight on that. It was put out on the podcast that Vice President Harris went to North Carolina to pose on a C-17, that's a cargo plane full of supplies that were never intended to reach the hurricane victims. That's how it was put out on the podcast. Friday morning, we received a message on social media from a crew member on that bird, that plane, that said that that was only partially true. The supplies never left that day because that specific plane broke down. They ushered the supplies to a different plane, and that was delivered the very next day. Now, I reached back out to my guest to reconfirm with his source, which was an officer in that National Guard unit, that the original story was correct, and the source did confirm that the story of the bird never intending to leave was correct. Well, now it's Sunday morning, and more news has developed, to include the flight logs of those birds in a statement released by the National Guard unit. And so I need to correct the error here. Those supplies were, yes, they were delivered to the hurricane victims. And I want to say something. You know, we live in a time where I think a lot of people are getting information from podcasts because they don't believe the mainstream media. And I'm one of them. But if we put out misinformation, guess what? We're no better than the mainstream. And so that's something you guys need to think about when you're putting information out. And when you're an active service member putting misinformation out, that's a disgrace. And yes, I do have my own biases and opinions, but I would never, ever, ever put my own biases and opinions above my own honesty and integrity. Because without that, you have nothing. You have a world where you can't believe anything you see or hear, which is very similar to what we're living in right now. I started this podcast to be a beacon of truth, to bring real news to as many people as they want to watch. And I would never intentionally put out misinformation. And so my apologies to everyone that was affected by that and everybody that watched that and believed that false information. And so this is me setting the record straight. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Thoughts? You see what Chachi said.
On top of that, Chachi says, not trying to fan flames, but wasn't it the North Carolina National Guard that flew that Black Hawk and that blew this away the supplies also? Yes. Sean Ryan's cool and all, but he was also a CIA contractor, just saying. Okay, so a lot of stuff going on here, and all of that ties in together. Thank you, Chachi, for bringing that up, because it's directly related to all of this. Sean Ryan seems to be legit as of right now, as far as I can tell. I don't have all of the details, but I will say his mea culpa, his apology that he just gave us, is extremely important in this movement. But I also am not going to hold that. I'm not going to hold his feet to the flames on that one there. And the reason for that is because of the amount of information that shows how awful and how anti-American these people are. It's more of a statement about how dishonest they are. That would be Kamala Harris and company, that we would believe a disinformation or a lack of full information about an aircraft never leaving. It would not surprise me that they would have just done a photo op like that. Do I believe that the military would do that? No, I really don't. Do I believe that there's corrupt people that could get put onto one plane? Yeah, that can easily happen. And so that's just, it is what it is. In terms of him working for the CIA, plenty of people have worked for the CIA. I've known people that are CIA, and they're great, solid, 100% pure, red-blooded Americans. And so just because somebody was a contractor, especially if they were a Navy SEAL or something like that, like Sean Ryan, earned, he, that is where a lot of people in the military get pigeonholed when we come back home and there's not too many jobs and we don't know what to do, especially with the amount of money that it makes to go be a contractor. So I'm not going to hold that against him, but it certainly should make us have one eye open in terms of exactly what he's doing. But take it one I guess bit of information at a time. And I would say that more often than not that he's 100% accurate. So even more so, I appreciate the fact that he gave an apology. I wish that other news organizations would actually have the integrity and the intestinal fortitude to be able to say, I messed up. Like that's all we're asking for. I messed up. Here's the truth. But the mainstream media, the legacy media, is always hiding and burying the truth, even when they're telling a current story, or even more so when they're doing an apology. They're still trying to obfuscate the truth. And that's my problem. So I don't have a problem with Sean Ryan on this one. As a matter of fact, kudos to him. Steph says he's been lied to. I've heard opposite stories. But I will say this. We're not up there, so we don't really know the truth, the full truth. No, we don't. Hey, Ghost Pepper.
Hey, Ghost Pepper.
Thanks for joining. No, we don't know the whole truth. And whose fault is that? Is that my fault that I get information wrong, even though I'm doing my dead level best and Kay's doing her dead level best to bring accurate information? Do we bring more accurate information than not? Yes. Do we make mistakes? We make mistakes all the time. And I beat myself up over it. And I will point it out when I find out that I'm wrong. That's part of trying to get information out when the information is always obscured, when it's difficult to find the truth. And so when you're left guessing, you grow your intuition, and sometimes you're going to make mistakes. So, and I know that we reported on that as well. Specifically, we do our best.
We do.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Want to read that, please?
JP Sears, I love this dude. What FEMA is like with hurricanes.
You ready?
No.
Yes, you are.
Whatever.
Hey, is that the food and water for the victims? Give me that. Hey, I'm with FEMA here to help with hurricane rescue efforts. At FEMA, we're very prepared for hurricane season, which means we spend all the money for hurricane rescue efforts on making illegal border crossings as comfortable as possible. It's good to be prepared. Yeah, we can't really do anything for you, but if you want to go to Mexico and walk across the border, we can help you out there. Yeah, we use all our funds to basically reward illegals for crossing the border, teach them not to do it. Yeah, auctioneer kind of thing. Yeah, what little rescuing we are able to implement, we distribute as such based on equity. What? Oh, your baby got swept down a well? Oh, you need help. Well, is your baby trans? No. Sorry, our hands are tied here. FEMA is an important federal agency. FEMA stands for Federal Aviation Emancipation, Evacuation, Forensics, Wrestling Federation, Emergency Association. There's a lot of lithium in the ground here, huh? Yeah, we thought this would be the first year without hurricanes. Here in North Carolina, one of the biggest crises that FEMA is facing is an epidemic of citizens trying to help other citizens in need. Kind of ruins everything, doesn't it? Hey, do not pull him from the debris. I know he's being crushed. What's your point? Excuse me, sir. I will literally have you arrested if you use that food to feed people. You take that food to the border where it belongs. A lot of private helicopters out there trying to rescue people today, huh? Do we have any rocket launchers? Oh, well, you got supplies on that truck or something? Yeah, well, road's completely blocked. Sorry, I can't get through. Well, FEMA's official stance is this road is completely blocked, as you can hear based on what I'm telling you to see. I'm gonna need you to just pull over right there so we can confiscate your supplies and destroy them. Hey, Nigel, I'm gonna need you to burn those pallets of food. FEMA wants to do more, but shucks, we ran out of funding.
I heard FEMA's sitting on $7 billion is trying to hide.
Turn that camera off, boy. Where to put the Starlink from Elon and Trump? Yeah, at the base of the mountain, you'll find a lake. I'm to put it right at the bottom of that. How do you deal with drowning people? Oh, how does anyone deal with anything, really? Go back to the mountains. They're all disgusting and dirty. Do bodies really have to be recovered? I mean, they're already in the ground. Madam Vice President, Hurricane Milton has destroyed Florida. Yeah, how's the sex podcast? We did it. Yeah, it looks worse than ever here. You're going to be the next president. No need for compliments, ma'am. We're just doing our jobs. Man, hurricanes love red states, don't they? Yeah, so what happened? 1,000 bodies were washed into a lake during a flash flood. Got on the phone with North Carolina Governor Cooper immediately to coordinate efforts. So we formed a quick action plan to restock the lake with fish because it has more water in it now. People that say FEMA doesn't care are just spreading false information. Here's how much we care. We're giving people $750. That's almost a fraction of what each individual has paid us in taxes. What these hurricane victims need more than anything is food, water, and shelter. With everything shut down, there's nowhere to buy those things. So yeah, we think that money will be extremely helpful. Yeah, as it turns out, private rescue efforts are actually interfering with our lack of rescue efforts. So we diverted all remaining manpower to impose more bureaucracy on those rescue efforts. Now, keep things orderly. We're kind of doing Maui 2.0 here. Hey, can we get one of those private helicopters to fly me to Charlotte? I want to get a massage. Let me ask you a question.
Thoughts?
It's been a long time since we've seen JP. JP's great though.
Yeah.
He is the true definition of what a jester was, which was somebody to give the king the bad news in a way that was easy to hear.
Yeah. I don't know how he's still on YouTube, honestly.
I don't either. That's a very good question, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the comment based on me telling you what to see. Why is the roadblock? It's based on me telling you what to see, and that's pretty much what we've been getting. And it's a funny way to say it, but yeah, that's pretty much how they think, and they expect us to accept that. Good thing is that, well, we don't accept that, nor should we have to. That is just it's an agreement that we don't have to accept. Mike says more truth to that than you know. Boy,
and he's there.
Yeah, and I know, and you're there. I believe you. I firmly believe that they were telling people not to rescue people. Actually, I know. Well, we played something along those lines. Absolutely appalling.
Disgusting. You ready?
Yeah.
Want to read that, please?
Border Patrol Chief says, if we allow Border Czar Harris to win, every city is going to hell.
Ready?
Yeah. Well, no. Not for that.
Well, let's listen.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
America, I have a message for you. If we allow Borders R. Harris to win this election, every city, every community in this great country is going to go to hell. The untold millions of people, unvetted, who she has allowed into this country that are committing murders, rapes, robberies, burglaries, and every other crime will continue to put our country in peril. Only one man can fix that. That is Donald J. Trump. He has always stood with the men and women who protect this border, who put their lives on the line for the country. A man who knows about putting his life on the line for what is right. This November, we have a choice to make. Continue the chaos, allow the criminal cartels to control the border, to allow drugs and fentanyl across our country, or put an end to it once and for all. On behalf of the 16,000 men and women represented by the National Border Patrol Council, we strongly support and endorse Donald J. Trump for President of the United States.
Thoughts?
Interesting comment there, Mike, in relation to it. He says, I've talked to about 50 people that applied for the $750. No one has got the total amount. Most got $300
That's disgusting.
of a loan that the government's going to want back. By the way, Uncle Sugar, where the hell is my tax return? Still haven't got it.
Fuckers.
Fuckers. So,
They endorsed them.
the customs, CBP, Customs and Border Protection, has endorsed Trump. Not a surprise, because he actually cares about the customs and being counted and the border actually being protected. I'm glad to see that. Who in CBP would actually care about Kamala Harris, especially with as terrible as she's done? Obviously, people who have something personally to gain would be my guess.
Stop. She's Hills Up Harris, okay?
Whatever.
Are you ready?
No,
Okay.
I still have rants.
Go ahead.
I'm sick and tired of this
I
crap.
like your rants.
Really, it's not a rant so much as it is that he was making it very clear, if Kamala gets elected, if President Trump does not get elected, what does that say? It says that we have the time, that everything is under control for the time being, but what is most important is this election. Get out to vote. Get everybody out to vote. Whether they
Go
think,
pick up a friend.
yeah, go pick up friends. Anybody else need a ride? Do whatever you got to do.
Amen.
That's going to be one of the important things, is making sure that is the important thing. That's like our main job. Make sure people are getting out there to vote.
Amen. Now you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to read that, please?
Flashback 2007. Joe Biden explains how illegal immigration undercuts American jobs and wages.
Ready?
Yeah, he always knew what to say.
With Senator Biden, do you believe that, as Anho suggested, we're talking about jobs that Americans won't do? That's often used as a conversation point in this debate over immigration.
Let's get straight. Americans will do any job if you pay them properly. The fact of the matter is that doesn't mean we don't need guest workers. We do. That doesn't mean we don't need, but we should base the number of guest workers that are in the statute that we're trying to pass, and we tried to pass before comprehensive immigration reform, based upon need, not on an absolute number. And we should require employers to offer those jobs to citizens to see if they want those jobs. Case in point, you had Swift Meats down in North Carolina. INS came in, 800 people took off. The fact of the matter is they had to go out and hire people. Guess what? They had to double the wage and provide health insurance. They got all the North Carolinians they want to come and slit pigs' throats, which no one wants to do. They did it. And so that doesn't mean there's not room. We need agricultural workers. We need H-1B visas. We need what, in fact, exists as a need, not as an artificial number to allow employers to drive down wages.
Well, earlier in this panel, it was suggested that hiring illegal immigrants to do these jobs doesn't drive down wages. So I'm interested to hear this anecdotal evidence.
It drives down wages. I think it drove down wages at Swift Meats. What happened? When 800 out of 2,800 people left, they had to go out and say, okay, now we'll pay $10.50 an hour instead of $6 an hour, or whatever the number was. And we're going to give health insurance. And guess what? North Carolinians showed up for the jobs.
You are correct, Chachi. That is
that is the real Biden.
That is
not the one that we have now. No, that's the one we're watching now is not Joe.
No.
So Joe Biden can kiss my ass for that.
Oops. Wrong button.
That's all right. Joe Biden can kiss my ass on that one because, well, I've worked with illegal aliens before, and it was jobs that plenty of Americans would love to have, and that's a cell phone tower job. But they pay less than what you would get if you were actually one of the union workers. So it's competing with the unions. So it's a market where you have to compete with undercut wages, and the regulations aren't necessarily followed, that all of the safety equipment might not be there for you, that there's no proper training, and that they just throw you on a 200-foot tower and say, good luck.
Yeah.
But then again, these people come over here and they're willing to accept unfair wages and unsafe working conditions. Not turning the cell phone tower off as you're supposed to be working on the damn microwave right in front of it. Those things might be happening out there. But then again, that's why you hire illegal immigrants. Because you're just a shady piece of shit who cares about money over human beings and what people can actually do. Because people who are properly motivated can move mountains with a shovel and a little bit of desire. And these companies have no desire to provide any reason for people to put forth their best effort. This is something that's been going on forever and a day. That's why they always say it's so hard to find people who are willing to work. It's not hard to find people who are willing to work. It's hard to find people who are willing to work for you. That's the problem, is you're an asshole. And you treat your employees as if they're your slaves, and you can yell at them and talk down to them. And you think that that's okay because what? You're a big shot business owner man? Big shot business owner man who deserves respect some reason? No, kiss my ass, kiss everybody else's ass. Why don't you go down where all the cheap labor is and go do all the things that you want to do down there? Problem is that's what they already got down there. You just happen to offer a little bit more so that way they can send it home, steal our resources away from the people who live here and are from here, and send it off to other places without any real, recompense, without any real, providing a value to the people who are toiling away their blood, sweat, and tears for you. So I really don't blame the illegals as much as I blame the business owners who are quite content to lie on their I-9 forms and hire illegal aliens, because there's plenty of things that are supposed to be checks and balances that our government doesn't give a shit about. Whereas if they actually followed through with it, a lot of these people would be in jail.
Facts.
I look forward to that day.
Yes.
That will be one of the things where when I see that, I might be getting close to saying to President Trump, we're winning too much, but it's still got a ways to go even after that.
Yeah.
Chachi says, but all those illegals send all that money they make back home. That's exactly what they do. They're stealing our resources. They don't even spend it here on the stuff that we produce here in this nation. Oh, that's right. All of those jobs are going back down to where they're at because they don't have to pay anything down there either. Yeah, leave. Go be Juan Deere. Nobody will buy your stupid, ugly green tractor ever again.
Exactly.
Esto says, hi from North Idaho. Hey, what's up, Esto? Thanks for joining us. Made the stream. Construction was greatly affected. No more skilled workers. Example given, carpenters for one. Man, you're
That
telling
sucks.
me I right here in Las Vegas. And I'm sure that when all the work dried up because the booming wasn't happening the way it was during the mid to late 2000s, all the way back into the 90s, all those people had to go find somewhere else to go. So yeah, Idaho's booming. So yeah, they're going to go out there. It's awful because there are skills, and those skills are very important because a skilled carpenter is going to say, hey, these 2x4s are bent and they've got finger joints and they look like shit. They're going to break apart in any kind of storm because they know more. No. You shut your mouth. Otherwise, we'll hire some illegal alien who knows how to keep their mouth shut, and they'll just put the crap up, and then the house can fall down on top of the people who've been paying a mortgage on that house forever and a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't care, because they're just taking their money and they're going home.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're invaders. They're
There you go.
invaders stealing our resources. They just haven't killed anybody yet. Well, I don't know. I guess they have.
Yeah.
Time to do something about it. Aaron says, Santino, I think you're on the right track with the HVAC plumbing. In a few years, you can totally just work for yourself. And here they are charging like $70 to $100 an hour. Yeah, they charge $70 to $100 an hour, but somebody new probably only going to make 15 to 20, if that.
Yeah.
Chop says, I tell everyone, bottom of the ballot upwards. Your local school boards and millage is far closer and more impactful than the presidency. I agree. This time the presidency is important, but every single time.
Don't forget to vote all the way.
Yeah, don't forget to vote all the way up and down the ticket. And please do your research. We can't help everybody with the research for all of their local elections, but that's something that we as citizens have to take responsibility for, is understanding who's on the ticket. And some we may have to hold our nose on, but that's okay, because even if it's marginally better than the communists, I mean, the senators and congressmen that we currently have, then we would, be at least a little bit better than where we are, and in hopes that we will continue to get better and better candidates in the future. Lil Lunker says, this whole government is a serious case of fuckery. Forgive my French. You're good.
You're good, little lunker.
You're good. Don't worry about
Ready?
it. I'm feeling kind of cursy today myself.
You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that?
Hide, ladies, hide.
No,
Hide
down
your
here.
kids, hide your wife.
Down here.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Wait until they find out that it's not just black men voting for Trump. Well, who? Okay.
Ready?
Do they really think that that's just the case?
Yeah. You
They
ready?
really are dumb over there, aren't they?
Yes. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys. Once they figure out that it's not just the black male vote, oh my God, you guys, I'm hiding. I'm hiding because once they figure out that it's not just the black male vote, but also us black females who ain't voting for Kamala in record numbers like black people usually vote for Democrats in record numbers. Oh my God, y'all. Once they figure it out, they gonna send Michelle. They gonna send Michelle after us. Oh my God, you guys. I gotta find a better hiding place.
Thoughts?
Big Mike coming after you would be pretty scary.
Yeah.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Wow. Wow.
But she's right.
Yeah, I know she's right. But it's like the left really doesn't, like, they think, okay, well, we got the black people on lock. We got the Hispanics on lock. Anybody that's not a white male, we got the white women. We got this and that and the other. You don't have shit. You don't have nothing, because nobody likes you in the Democratic Party anymore. Maybe you should look in the mirror and ask yourself why nobody likes you. And you can't blow your way out of this one, Kamala.
Right?
I'm just saying, I mean, you might get blown, but that's because of the, execution that'll probably happen for treason. But I mean, that's just me, I don't know. Maybe they'll use Sparky. I have no idea.
I don't know.
But I mean, a traitor is a traitor is a traitor.
Yes. How about some Cali?
Yeah, I need some Kelly.
You do.
I do.
Ready?
Getting saucy. Yes.
All right, I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but I know that there is somebody watching and you feel like God is mad at you. You feel like you have got to the point where you have messed up too many times. You want to pray. You want to spend time with him. You know that you're far from him, but the devil has been whispering in your ear. God doesn't want to spend time with you. Look at what you've done. You think God is proud of you? Look, if that's you today, I have some really good news for you. God's not mad at you. In fact, he loves you and he wants to spend time with you more than you want to spend time with him. Yeah, Kelly, but you don't know what I've done. You don't know what I've said. You know what? You're right. I don't. But I know what Jesus did. And on the cross, he paid for everything for you. He paid for all your sins. The ones you committed yesterday, the ones you committed 5 years ago, the ones you're going to commit in a minute, and even the ones you're going to commit next year. Jesus already paid for it. Yeah, Kelly, but I just keep disappointing God. I make commitments to spend time with him, but I don't follow through. Look, if that's you today and you feel like you are constantly disappointing God, let me remind you of something today. I mean, let's think about this logically. To disappoint God would mean that you missed an appointment with him. Doesn't God know the beginning from the end? He knows everything, meaning he knew that you weren't going to show up to spend time with him today. What that means is you didn't disappoint him because he knew you weren't going to make it today. And he is not mad at you at all. Does he want to spend time with you? Yes, he does. But is he angry with you when you don't? No, he's not. You see, my Bible says there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. God's not mad at you. He's not the accuser. The devil is. The shame and the guilt that you feel from missing your time with God did not come from God. Look, yes, God wants to spend time with you, but his grace is so big and so good. Even when you don't show up, he still loves you just the same. The truth is, none of us are in right standing with God. That's why Jesus, who knew no sin, became sin so that we who knew no righteousness, which means having no right standing with God, we get to become the righteousness of Jesus, meaning we get to be in right standing with God because Jesus is in right standing with God. So let me encourage you today. I don't care how far from him you feel. You could be 1,000,000 miles away today, but the truth is you're only one step back. So if that's you today, spend some time with your Father. Let him know you're not going to believe the lie anymore, that he's mad at you, that he's disappointed in you, or that he doesn't want to spend time with you. Those are lies of the devil. You have a good Father, and he has good gifts for his children. Whatever battle, storm, or desert season you find yourself in right now, he wants to go through it with you and fight your battle for you. You really can just rest in him today. The devil would just love it if he could keep whispering lies to you and it stops you from spending time with God because he knows he's already been defeated. And the only thing he can really do to you is tell you lies and hope that you believe it. You see, he knows he's been defeated. He just hopes you never figure it out. But you know what? You just did. And think about that for a minute.
Thoughts.
So the thoughts of disappointing God. He made an excellent point, as Kelly always does, and that is that we can't disappoint him because he already knew what the outcome was going to be. Well, that kind of simplifies everything. So what does that really mean? That disappointment. What is that disappointment that you feel that God feels? That's probably the disappointment that you feel in yourself for not being able to do the things that you knew that you probably should have done. So what is that really saying? It's saying that we need to ask for that repentance and we need to make better decisions moving forward in the future. That's how we grow. Repentance is what he appreciates. It's how we find our way back to him. So it's not that it disappoints God. It's that we've disappointed ourselves because we probably know we should have done better. Really plain and simple. So we have to forgive ourselves because we already know that God forgave us. But the only way we'll feel that forgiveness is if we actually make that effort to walk the path as opposed to just talk the talk. Not easy to do.
Right.
But isn't that part of this life, this teaching experience, the schoolhouse that we're on, is to learn how to do it better? So give yourself grace and understand that God loves you either way. Aaron says, if God is everywhere, as I believe, then as long as you are trying, praying, and listening, you are with God, in my humble opinion, even in mundane things. And I would have to agree with you as well. You know, the science of it for me is they found the God particle, the Higgs boson particle, because they don't want to call it the God particle.
Yeah.
So, and it proves that thought is required for existence, is what the Higgs boson does.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of godlike to me. So if he's a particle in each and every atom within your body, then that's how he can be everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
I have an amazing video for tomorrow that Jan sent to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I look
Oh,
forward to
yeah.
that. Tune in tomorrow.
Yeah. You ready?
Anyway, that's the way it makes sense to me. And I think we're kind of along the same lines, Aaron. I think a lot of us probably, you know, we do try to figure out how God can be everywhere and nowhere all at the same time.
Mhm.
It would also explain his omnipotence, omniscience, all of those omnis.
Exactly.
Chachi says, kind of like the way the cabal already knows that they lost and all they got left is to try to scare us into believing it. And that's part of it as well, Chachi. Exactly. That's all they have left. I mean, they've got some tricks up their sleeve and they're going to cause some problems, you know, with the way they did the hurricanes. I would say that definitely shows that they got some tricks up their sleeve. So just be careful, be aware, be understanding, and you know, keep doing what you're doing. That's all we can do.
Exactly. You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that?
Yes, I can.
Would you please?
All right. JD Vance to ABC's Martha Raddatz about Venezuelan gangs in Colorado. Martha, do you hear yourself?
You ready? I love JD Vance. You ready?
Yeah.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border. Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs. I worry so much more about that problem than anything else here. We've got to get American communities in a safe space again. And unfortunately, when you let people in by the millions, most of whom are unvetted, most of whom you don't know who they really are, you're going to have problems like this. Kamala Harris, 94 executive orders that undid Donald Trump's successful border policies. We knew this stuff would happen. They bragged about opening the border, and now we have the consequences, and we're living with it. We can do so much better, but frankly, we're not going to do better, Martha, unless Donald Trump calls this stuff out. I'm glad that he did.
Thoughts?
They don't like the fact that they're calling out the things that are going on, like the gangs taking over, you know, areas of town in different parts of the country. They don't like the fact that they're bringing up the truth about them, you know, using people's pets as a voodoo sacrifice. They don't like that. Well, of course they don't like it. They don't like it because it highlights the fact that they really aren't doing their job, and it highlights it from the bottom all the way to the top. It's local just as much as it is federal in those kinds of incidents. And these are the things that need to be dealt with. It threatens the very fiber of everything that this swamp creature has been doing with its tentacles all over the place. It highlights it, and they don't like people to know that they're shady pieces of shit who are trying to bring down the country, because there's no logical explanation or reason for them to hide these kinds of things from the very people that they have been elected to represent. Because if the people actually had the truth about what our representatives aren't doing for their representative type jobs, then there would be some serious problems, and they know that. That's why they're going to fight to the very bitter end. And then they won't be around for much longer after that, because justice through the legal system will be served. Steph says, Yes, they accused of it not being true. They accused of it not being true, but then you're going to say a handful. One, doesn't matter. They took it over. It wasn't a lie. It was the truth. They can't handle the
And
truth.
it wasn't just one.
Mike says, I like Vance more and more every day. I do as well. I know that there was a lot of hubbub about how he seemed to be like a never Trumper once upon a time. Maybe that was part of his awakening because maybe JD Vance wasn't 100% aware of a lot of the things that are going on when he was doing that. Maybe he saw things differently. We have to allow that grace. But because of people like our previous vice president, Pence, we have a different view about our willingness to accept those kinds of things like attacks, basically, against President Trump. But I do have faith that President Trump is being led. I do have faith and confidence that Trump is being guided. And I believe that he was guided and is being led to pick JD Vance for a very specific reason. And I do believe that JD Vance will very much, in the end, turn out to be a great guy, an outstanding vice president and future president. Hopefully he can make me, I don't know, like his, I don't know, czar of something, czar of nothing.
Carol likes Vance as well now.
Yeah, but we shouldn't let we shouldn't shut our spidey senses off.
Right.
But those same spidey senses that we use to recognize whether or not somebody's a white hat or a black hat, for lack of a better word, those are the things that we should always keep on. And I think that that's the problem. That's the problem that we as the citizens made is, oh, okay, they seem good. And then we shut off listening. We shut off the hearing, the nuances and tones, the things that they say in the background, their little winks, their secret handshakes, all of those things.
Yeah.
We stopped paying attention. That's on us.
Yeah.
In the future, we shouldn't. So don't turn them off for President Trump, even. These are people in positions of great power, or these are people who will be in great positions of power. And so we should be aware and conscious of these things, no matter who it is. Unless it's Jesus, in which case, then, I mean, we all know what to do.
Yeah.
All right. Aaron says, I'm open to more data on Vance, but until I see it, he's good in my book. Pretty much. Oh, we don't have to lose any sleep over it.
No.
Yeah. Chachi says, LT from And We Know. I love that dude, by the way. Shout out to And We Know. Says that Vance worked for him for a short period when he was in the Marines. LT was an officer over Vance. He vouches for him pretty well.
Amen,
I can see that.
Esto. Amen.
Go ahead.
Esto says we should have learned from Bush Jr.
Yeah. We should have.
Yeah. We're going to go over that, Jenny, in just a minute.
Jenny says there's been a lot on Tampon Timmy that came out on X yesterday. Yeah, Shotgun Boy.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
You want to read that, please?
JD Vance drops zinger in, excuse me, let's try that one again. I'm having trouble. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. Okay, it's Monday. Get over it. JD Vance drops zinger about Kamala Harris's earrings.
Ready?
Oh, God. Here we go.
I did want to point this out. JD Vance has no idea what these questions are, what the topics are. No idea. We didn't tell him beforehand. There's nobody in his ear, no cute earrings. There's nothing like that.
No.
So I'm just reminding everybody that this is all organic, okay?
I left my Bluetooth earrings at home, so.
Sorry.
Thoughts?
I'm glad that's actually a part of the conversation from a politician. In the past, please let me know. Reagan doesn't count. How many times has a politician actually called out the things that people wouldn't say before?
I know.
When's the last time you really heard that?
Mm-hmm.
And think about that. Just a thought.
You ready?
Yeah.
Want to read that, please?
Kirk Cameron explains to Glenn Beck why not voting for Trump is immoral.
Okay.
Interesting. All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Christians that'll say, I'm just going to pray. I'm not even going to vote.
Yeah.
That to me is insane.
I think it's insane, and I think it's immoral when you think about it. And I don't want to say this. This is not a smackdown. Like I wrestle through all these things myself. And I get it. People don't want to vote between the lesser of two evils, or they say, I don't want to, hitch my truck to that guy or that girl. But at the end of the day, we have been given the great privilege that people in North Korea don't have. We get to legally vote to select our representatives. But if we just sit it out, that means that the worst of the two options has one less vote to get into power to just destroy the future for your children. So we've got to go with, last time I checked, Jesus wasn't on the ballot. And so we're always going to be voting for one of two broken people. And nobody's perfect. And so we've got to go with the best option that we have available to us, knowing that the president can't fix the problem anyway.
Yes.
That's our job. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's the guys that are doing in Asheville what FEMA is not doing. The first responders need to be moms and dads building culture in their homes. And then the executive branch can provide some air cover.
Right.
If they're doing their job to keep the evil away so we can do the good from the inside out.
And that's where the vote comes in.
Yes.
You need the air cover.
Right. Okay? We need the Iron Dome.
Yeah.
We need the F-15s.
Correct.
We need that branch.
Correct. And if you don't pay attention to that, the air cover can suddenly become enemy fire.
Yes. Now we have our own air cover firing at us.
Yes.
And parents who are removing their children from pornography infested schools are being called domestic terrorists.
Yes.
Parents who are not even aware that their child is wanting a gender change surgery are being penalized, and laws are being put into place that will take those children away from them and have the parents pay for their surgery in a safe house. I mean, we have senators in California, where I used to live, that are saying, if you love your children, flee our state. Because they've been there for 10 years and they've seen where this is going.
Yeah.
But like you said, this could be our finest hour. This could be the story. Everybody loves a comeback. This could be tomorrow's history books looking back going, they got to the point where they were calling murdering babies reproductive care, and they were mutilating children. It got so crazy. This was like pagan times again, nasty. And then you know what? Good people. They stood up. They remembered who they are, whose they are. They captured a vision of victory, that it was actually possible, like heroes of the past. And they leaned into what was true and beautiful and good. And you know what? God came to their aid, and there was a massive turnaround.
Thoughts?
So I love the analogy that he made. And I think that that's very important in terms of communicating to people why we need to get everybody out to go out to vote, that you can't just pray for a victory, that you actually have to do the things other than, I mean, you pray, please do. At the same time, go out and vote. How much does it actually take out of your day, out of your life? Right. But he compared it to the Iron Dome. And that comparison, I think, is extremely important. It's a visual that people can get in their head. You know, the Iron Dome only works if they have enough missiles to shoot down all the other missiles, right? And that's what it is they're going to be sending their missiles at us with all of their cheating. And we know it's not that hard, because we all saw what happened out there in, was it in Michigan or was it in Georgia?
Georgia.
Where they took the stack of counted votes and they put it right back in the exact same machine. I'm sure it happened in the other states too. I mean, let's
I'm
not kid
sure.
ourselves, right? Okay, so that's how easy it is for them to cheat. So how do we defeat that? We make it so that way they would have to have 200% of the vote to even win.
Yep.
And then it's like, if you are part of this government and you support 200% of the total number of citizens that can vote, then it's clearly a compromised election. And they're going to try. And we'll probably have to have a second vote because of the games that they're playing. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But the way to prevent them from being able to succeed is getting everybody out there to vote. Mike says Beck was a Trump hater, but he has been on fire lately. Glenn Beck has been a Trump hater. And I know that a lot of people have some issues with him because he's Mormon. And I'm not going to sit here and judge people for their faith because everybody has their own faith. And I have my own thoughts and everything about that. But the thing is Glenn Beck has been for a long time. I mean, the dude used to work for CNN, and then he went to Fox, and he got fired from both of those because he was telling too much truth back in the day. I remember watching Glenn Beck on Fox News.
Yep.
He has done a lot, and he may have some misinformation in there, but at the same time, the guy's still trying to tell the truth. He's still trying to wake people up. He's trying to make sure that the good information is out there. And I know that a lot of people say that InfoWars guy has some, some questionable whatever about him as well. But you know what? As long as the information that they're providing is good information, then what they do in the background really should only be an awareness and not a reason why we make a decision.
Yeah.
Bethany says, phew, Kirk is spitting facts when he doesn't pause. When he doesn't pause. Divine message? Quite possibly. It's very good. F. Glenn says, not because he's Mormon, he's a classic patriot. I hear y'all about the whole Mormon thing. I get you. But remember, this is a country where everybody's allowed to have their own religion. Freedom of religion.
Esto's right. Glenn was talking about the border back then with his chalkboard. I remember that.
That epic chalkboard. Mm-hmm. He was talking about Soros when you weren't allowed to talk. Couldn't even say his name.
Yeah. And
without kissing his ass.
And Mike says denomination doesn't have anything to do with it. If he believes in God and is willing to listen to God, he's good.
Amen.
D says Beck woke me up on Fox.
Help me out as well, D. Did we say hi to D?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
Jordan Peterson and Russell Brand discuss the material realm.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
A fictional account like that, like the Harry Potter series, let's say, that's where the proximal, the attention of the culture, meets the eternal. That's where the proximal meets the archetypal, right? And a great story always does that. It brings the archetypal back into the proximal. And that's what gives it its massive commercial impulse. And it's what attracts everyone's interest. People are interested in those stories for a reason.
And like when C.S. Lewis writes, those of us that know there is more to reality than the material realm, those of us that have glimpsed it are taken over by a kind of lust. And like bodily lust, it has the quality of making all else seem trivial.
That's the pearl of great price. Any wise rich man would sacrifice everything he has to purchase the pearl of great price. It's like once you know what's most valuable, everything looks trivial in comparison.
You can't live in licentiousness. You can't live in hedonism. You can't cut it off from the flow and make it into a system.
You're going to become an avatar of power. You're going to become a worshiper of the golden calf. Some spirit's going to take possession of you. You're going to invite the dread beast that crouched on Cain's doorstep in to possess you if you're resentful. Some spirit will possess you. There's no option. You can open the door to the proper spirit. You can do that, right? And then the question is, what's the proper spirit? Well, it's not one of power. It's not one of sexual gratification. Well, what is it? If it's nothing, well, then you're a nihilistic house divided amongst itself.
So what is sovereignty predicated upon?
The spirit of voluntary self-sacrifice to what's highest. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah,
Praise
no
Jesus.
kidding.
Praise
No
Jesus.
kidding. No kidding.
Thoughts?
Interesting. So, yeah, Russell Brand definitely gets into the metaphysical aspects of a lot of this stuff. And I can understand that because in the end, we're all seeking that deeper connection. We're looking in a very personal way based off of our own life experience, what that deeper connection is. What they call it, the pearl.
I don't know.
Yeah, anyways, so we're looking for that pearl where nothing else matters. We're looking for that direct connection to the divine. We know what we see around us is not real. Like we've watched The Matrix and we understand, is that air you're breathing?
Yeah.
No, it's water. How do I know that? Because it says it in the book.
There you go.
Mike says, I have a friend that is Mormon and he is a godly man. He also don't like Romney. A lot of people don't like Romney, even out here. And this is a big town for that faith.
Yeah.
So as far as Russell Brand goes, like F. Clan, based off of your comment that you were saying,
D2.
and D says, not so sure yet on the transformation of Russell Brand. Plus, talk too fast for me. You know, I get that. I think it's an excitement. I think that he's a very excited and excitable man, and that's why he talks so fast.
Yeah, I believe
so. The information that they're giving, is it contrary to what you already know? And these are one of those things where we have to use our discernment. Is it contrary to your understanding? Because a lot of different faiths share so many different like principles behind them. And if he's expanding into the Bible, and it seems that he has expanded into the Bible because he was, I think, a Buddhist, if I remember correctly,
Yes.
more so, or Hindu. No, it was Hinduism.
Was it?
I think so, because he's got the Namaste tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so it's those principles, they can carry over, but it provides a much bigger understanding to him, and it's very personal.
Yeah.
In the end, it doesn't matter how we get there. It's just a matter of whether or not we get that connection with our creator.
Amen, Jenny. Amen.
Go ahead.
Jenny says there's a lot of fakes everywhere. We must use discernment.
We must.
Yeah.
We
F.
must.
Clint says he was a pervert. LOL.
He was married to Katy Perry.
Yeah, he was.
I can't imagine that he would have got out of that relationship unscathed.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
As they still push Project 2025, this patriot highlights Agenda 47.
Melissa's great. Hold on. You
All right.
ready?
Yeah.
Everyone is dying for me to make a video about Project 2025, so I'm going to sit here and give you the facts. Fact number 1, it's not Trump's. Fact number 2, he's denounced it 4 times. So let's talk about the real agenda at hand, Agenda 47. If you come at me in the comments and say Project 2025, I'm coming right back at you with Agenda 47. Because you know what? If you can read 920 pages of Project 2025 that has nothing to do with anything, then you can sit here and read Donald J. Trump's website. But you won't, so I will for you. Let's see how awful this is. This man is so considerate that he put a little video discussing every single topic if you can't read. Let's just discuss the topics. Maybe in another video, I'll get into all of it. President Donald J. Trump declares war on cartels. Ending veteran homelessness in America. No welfare for illegal aliens. The American Academy. Auto workers. President Trump's pledge to the homeschooled families. President Trump's 10 principles for great schools leading to great jobs. Sounds awful. America must have the #1 lowest cost energy and electricity on the earth. Returning production of essential medicines back to America and ending Biden's pharmaceutical shortage. President Trump calls for the death penalty for human traffickers. This sounds awful. Sign me up. Rescuing America's auto industry from Joe Biden's disastrous job-killing policies. Rebuilding America's depleted military. Protecting students from the radical left and Marxist maniacs infecting educational institutions. Protecting Americans by taking on Big Pharma and ending global freeloading. This goes on and on. I can't believe this communist approach, this authoritarian act to make America better. You guys started this with the whole Project 2025. Now we're letting you know what the real agenda is. So go check out Agenda 47. It's on donaldjtrump.com.
Thoughts?
This whole BS about project or what do they call it? Project 25 or whatever it is. Project 2025. Yeah, Project 2025. It's from the Lincoln Project.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been paying attention, if you actually know, the Lincoln Project has been very much anti-Trump. As a matter of
They
fact,
suck.
it appears that they're tied in with all of the swamp creatures that are out there based off of something that we shared on this show way back when the founder got hemmed up for something, didn't he? For trafficking of some sort or some kind of weird,
Yeah.
strange
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah. And so we understand what it means because we've actually, I don't know, researched and used our brains and, you know, I know that the crazy conspiracy theorist of using your brain and doing some research. I get it. But That's what separates the wheat from the chaff in this kind of instance, in this scenario, because these people are just taking the talking points. They're just regurgitating the talking points. They don't know any better. They really don't. They think they know better than everybody else. They're the smartest people in the room. Just ask them, they'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Yeah.
Hang on to your hats.
Have you seen the most cringe-inducing political ad ever made? Well, if you've seen the new Be a Man for Harris ad, I think you have. Let me show you a little snippet. Don't worry. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing.
I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm a man, man. And I'm man enough. I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon. Neat. Man enough to cook my steak rare. Man enough to deadlift 500 and braid the out of my daughter's hair. You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
Yeah, I certainly don't doubt that you do. So this video would lead you to believe that Kamala Harris is able to get a diverse group of men in every aspect to support her, when really, they're just all woke actors. Like, really woke. For example, this dude, this is Mike Leffingwell. He lives in LA and works for an organization called the Upright Citizens Brigade. It's basically like a super woke improv group. He's a cartoon writer for Netflix and DreamWorks. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing on a ranch. The thing he's done that he's most proud of is an improv act called Two Dumb Lawyers. He also runs improv workshops on how to be honest about your white privilege. So yeah, that's this man. Oh, and this guy, who for some reason is sitting in the 5th grade glamour shot pose. Like, we should be seeing like a superimposed faded image of just his face here. At least that's how the pictures looked when my sisters did it. This is Waylon McQueen, who also works at the Upright Citizens Brigade. He is a failed comedian and actor who does improv about exclusively woke topics. And then we get to this guy. He's actually Lanre Ndewu, who does like trashy horror flicks. Weirdly enough, he also said he braids his daughter's hair, but he doesn't have any children. That's kind of weird. We also got this guy, supposed to be that older, grizzled, probably a member of the Hells Angels. That's just actor Tony Ketchum, who the last movie he did was 2001, where in Ghost World, he played alcoholic customer. Oh, and let's not forget the big rancher and mechanic who eats carburetors for breakfast. Yeah, he's also an actor who lives in LA named Winston Carter, who's best known for his 4-minute role in Spaghetti Man. And I think that perfectly defines Democrats. See, they believe in diversity, but just in diversity of what you look like. See, because they made sure they got themselves a couple of white dudes, a Hispanic man, a black guy, and an old grizzled looking white dude. They didn't care that every single one of them lives in LA, is woke as fuck, and is failing in their careers. They'd have to be. I mean, who the fuck else would be willing to do this ad? But of all the things they said in this ad, there is one thing that I completely believe them on.
I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I have no doubt they know what it's like to be full-throated.
Or to full throat. I mean, wow.
Thoughts?
What a surprise. Wow,
Wait till I show you the next one.
those manly men are so manly. I'm just gonna go vote for Harry
know.
Balls.
I know, Jenny. Spaghetti Man.
Spaghetti Man. Yeah, the guy who wouldn't stop eating the biscuits. Come on. What's the matter with you? Hey, I eat carburetors for breakfast.
Uh-huh.
No, can't think I've ever heard anybody say that and actually mean that. Aaron says, at what point are the absurdities as mathematically impossible as the coincidences? Aaron, that's a good question.
Wait till you see the next video.
That the absurdities definitely point to the fact that we are watching a movie in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't imagine, well, I don't know. I guess I could imagine Kamala with her vast experience and knowledge and everything that she's done would pick a commercial that looks and sounds as ridiculous as that. Chachi says, like a litmus test, white hats have set for the public to see how quickly normies can dismantle the narrative and identify these actors.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Yeah. Or time travel.
Or time travel, Carol says. That stuff says they'd be more believable if they were talking about how they love walls.
And his horse
Yeah.
essence.
Mike says
Parties.
that one guy don't squat 500 pounds either. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
And Jenny says, I drink coffee stronger than their feelings. Okay, can you read that, please?
Not right now. Babylon B says, are you man enough to vote for Kamala Harris?
You ready?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can deal with the Babylon B.
I know, but you knew they were going to after that commercial.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
Man enough to cry while watching The Notebook.
I'm man enough to sing show tunes in the shower. I sing the girl parts.
I'm man enough to pee while sitting down.
I'm man enough to write Twilight fan fiction.
I'm man enough to hug another dude. That's not weird.
I'm man enough to go up to another man in the gym and be like, hey, bro, nice form. And then give him a little kiss on the head. Boop.
I'm man enough to vote for Kamala Harris.
I'm man enough to vote for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Are you man enough?
Nothing needs to be said on that. That Babylon V covered that one perfectly.
Right?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
He sins against me 7 times, and I'm supposed to just forgive that. No, not 7, but 77 times. I could stack him up that high if I really broke down each offense and the consequences. You know, I don't mean literally 77 times. 70 times 7. Completion times completion. Endless forgiveness without limits. I know it's hard. Why does everything have to be? Man makes it much harder when he leans on his own understanding.
This is a place where I don't feel alone.
Thoughts?
We've had a lot of discussions about this 70 times 7 thing. And he said it, 7 being the number of completion. So completion times completion, meaning you got to forgive and forgive and forgive and forgive until they get it. And with as awful as everything is gone, and with as much pain and suffering as people are going through, specifically, let's just take the hurricanes, for instance. Completion in terms of forgiveness. How are we supposed to forgive these things? People who lost their lives. It's awful. So why are we supposed to continue to forgive when these people continue to come after us? Why did the Christians who were persecuted in the gladiatorial arenas have to forgive up until the lion was eating them? I don't know. I know that the forgiveness that I've been able to give in my life has been challenging, but at the same time, very freeing. You know, I don't want to forgive some of these people because of the things that they've done, but it's not up to me.
Exactly.
I'm not the judge.
And like it said on there, forgiveness is healing.
And it is healing. I will say the forgiveness that I've given, I know that I've required a lot of forgiveness from a lot of people in my life as well. And that's probably another reason why we need to forgive until completion, because we've been forgiven even just as much, if not more.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
And forgiveness isn't for them. It is for you.
It is, Little Unker. I agree with you 100%. Your heart gets lighter.
It does.
May not seem like it when they bring out the rage that
The rage
burns
monster.
inside of your heart,
Mm-hmm.
and you just want to go on the whole world, but we can't.
No.
Because that's not part of our path.
Exactly. He died on the cross for all of us. We are all forgiven. And so therefore we must forgive. We must.
It is difficult, but it is something that we should do, and it is better for us in the end in so many ways.
Yes. I agree, D. You are in this world, not of this world.
Amen.
And Little Lunker says, yes, I get so frustrated and angry, but God.
And that's the hard one. How fast can you run to the cross?
Yeah. Aaron says, some things are worth getting angry over. Then you must forgive, get calm, and clean up the mess.
Yeah. It sounds easy. I'm not saying it sounds like it's easy until you actually have to do it.
Exactly. You ready?
Yeah.
So this is the video I've been waiting for. A whistleblower came out on Tim Walz.
Oh Lord, what is?
Ready?
Okay.
No, they muted him. No, they muted him.
Can you read that?
There's a whistleblower that came out talking about Tim Walz.
Let's see. In
this, the whistleblower reached out to an account on X called DocNet YouTube.
Okay.
Once it was known that Tim Walz possibly might be the VP pick.
Of course they muted it.
The individual stated reaching out to Document YouTube. He had reached out a couple of times. DocNet did not respond. And that was the biggest message that got DocNet's attention. I'm so sorry I'm bothering you.
Oh God, this is 4 minutes as it is. We're gonna have to find another one. Can you give us the Cliff Notes version? Because this is gonna take 30 minutes to get through it.
I know. I'll put it in Telegram and I'll look for another one tomorrow.
Well, it must have been important. That's why they muted it.
Yeah,
Check back in a day or two, and maybe he will have appealed and got the sound back.
Yeah, let's move on.
Do what we can. Get to him as fast as we can.
It was just playing before we went live, by the way.
Are you serious?
Yeah. You ready?
Not a surprise. Yeah.
Kind of a big deal. The vice president's husband, who's redefining masculinity and lecturing us all about bigotry all the time. Sanctimonious little prick that guy is. That guy is accused of hitting a woman in the face and causing another woman to have a miscarriage.
Right. You know, she's married this guy. In recent weeks, it's come out that he is very credibly accused by a woman who's told her story to multiple publications of publicly slapping her at the Cannes Film Festival, where this lady had been invited. In the face, so hard that she spun around from it. But the more shocking part of the story that this woman recounts that Emhoff casually told her in the days or weeks before this incident, he had been accused by his elementary school teacher's babysitter.
School-age children?
Children's teacher, sorry.
Yeah.
Getting her pregnant and then causing the miscarriage, causing the termination of the pregnancy, not explicitly through abortion, but maybe through a miscarriage. You know, that's
through
the
violence,
accusation.
since he's
Violence
hit a
is the
woman in the
implication.
face. Yeah.
Exactly. And so
Now, he
American.
told her this?
He told her this casually.
Thoughts?
Sounds like somebody who drinks horse essence would do.
That's her husband.
That's her husband.
Yeah.
Oh, her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that was Walt. Okay, well, forgive me for not understanding what's going on here. Wow, what a surprise. Anyways, that explains why these people are where they are. It's such a morally corrupt group of people that are comfortable having blackmail on other people to make sure that other people stay quiet, so that way they can live the big life with all the money and rich man trappings and all this other shit. You just have to be willing to let go of all your morals. And so they're going to brag about it because they feel like they made it. They made it to the top and they're untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
They're touchable.
Yeah. I agree, Little Lunker. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting to brag.
To brag.
Yeah, I know.
You ready?
Yeah.
He says, we aren't voting for a pastor. We're voting for a president. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
I would never call Donald Trump for pastoral advice. I wouldn't even call him for Christian advice in general. Do I believe he's a Christian man? I don't know. But I tell you what I do know. I know that Democratic Party is a demonic platform. They promote transgenderism. They promote homosexuality. They promote destroying marriage according to biblical marriage and the family. And what I've noticed is there's a lot of people that are sitting on the fence. I read today 32 million church-going Christians say, I'm not going to vote, may not vote, because I don't like either candidate. You're not voting for a pastor. If you go to church, you've already got a pastor. These 32 million people will show up for an ice cream social. They'll show up to sit on the pew, to listen to a sermon. They'll show up to vote what color carpet they're going to put in their church. But you're telling me that you can't vote for the side that exemplifies Christian values according to biblical standards. That's where you need to check yourself. That's where you need to fall on your face and repent if you're on that side of the fence. Because, my friends, the time of being on the fence and not taking a stand is over with. It's time for all brethren, all men to stand firm and be bold. Be bold in the last days. We will be judged by what we do and what we don't do. The Bible says, to him that knows to do good and does it not, to that person it's a sin. We'll give account to our God for every idle word and every thought, everything we do in this life. Make it count. Your vote matters.
Thoughts?
I like the theme that I'm starting to hear, because this is something that they've been going after. But Trump did this and Trump did that. And
I agree.
The point
I
is-
agree, Carol, that I do disagree with what he said on some of it, but it is his thing. And I agree with him saying that you can't just sit on the fence and say, I'm not going to go vote. Because when Trump was in office, he did amazing things. And what he said he was going to do, he did. So stop with the bullshit of, oh, he sucks, oh, he's mean, oh, the mean tweets, oh, they hurt my feelings. Shut the fuck up. $1.89 gas. Remember that, bitches.
so the concept that's being brought up is that of course Trump is not Jesus.
No.
We understand.
We worship Jesus. We like Trump.
Yeah, we understand that President Trump is a fallible human being.
Yes, we all are.
And that it's not going to, like, if we see somebody who looks perfect, after all, so many of these politicians have been painted as perfect people. Look at what they did for Obama for us. He was just one step away from walking on water. If they thought they could have got away with that scam, they would have tried it.
Can I say something real quick to Carol? In the Bible, it doesn't say it does not say that lesbian is bad. In fact, it says it's okay.
No, it doesn't say it's okay. It just says that it's directed towards man on man.
There you go.
Yeah.
I knew it was that.
But we all have our own sins. And like we've said here before, you may be gay. But that might be the only thing that they do wrong.
Exactly. And they can God still loves everyone.
Yeah.
Get over yourselves.
He already understands what's going on better than I do. It's another reason why we need to forgive.
Oh my gosh.
And not
people are
worry
dumb.
about people's color, their sexual orientation.
We're
How is
all
any of that helpful? How is it
Americans.
any of it beneficial to what's truly important to all of us?
We're
And that is
Americans.
getting our relationship with our creator, one, and two, making sure that our nation that has been created for us, that it's being run properly. I think that those are the things that matter. And that's the conversation that needs to be had. And that's why President Trump was amazing, because he actually did the things that he said, and it was in the best interest of every American, regardless of their race, creed, color, national origin, sexual orientation, et cetera, et cetera, et
We're
cetera.
Americans. And I pray you're right, Mike. Mike says, I believe there are no undecided voters left. Everyone knows who they will vote for.
I think so. I think some are still switching from the Harry Balls side over to the President Trump side.
Yeah.
But I think that that's going to continue to change as the Kamala ads get more and more ridiculous.
Yes.
Like eating carburetors for breakfast. Well, you know what? She comes into office, we might be looking at eating carburetors for breakfast. What's the nutritional value of a carburetor?
Exactly.
Anyway. So we need to forgive, and we need to tell people, oh, but Trump said grab him by the pussy. And it's like, okay, he said that. Is there any video of him grabbing anybody by the pussy that he's not married to? Because we already know that he didn't do that to the
Hag.
which one?
Eugene Carroll.
Oh, Eugene Carroll. And we know and then the porn star too.
Yeah.
Who
Stormy
even said,
Daniels.
Stormy Daniels, who even said they didn't do anything.
I know.
So, okay, forget that. How did he do as president? And what are his promises this time?
Exactly. Yes, little lunker. I said hag because she's a hag. Ugh. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's listen. Stop comparing yourself to others.
I don't. I try
You're
not.
not living when you're comparing. It is literally an exercise of frustration to look at everything God's given you and to look at something that God's given other people and devalue what God's placed in your hand. What I'm just trying to tell you right now is it's time to get uncuffed from comparison so you can actually live and have a happy, joyful, full of faith life that is content with what God has placed in your hands. Because all you have is all you need. What's in your hands right now? Look at your hands. Just look at them. Just put them out like this. There are things, there are children and influence and ideas and cures and solutions and love and joy and administration and help. And there's things that God has placed in your hands that he has never coded anybody else in this world for except you. And comparison is robbing not just you, it's robbing all of us of the truest, greatest version that you are supposed to be. And today I'm asking you, uncuff from comparison.
Uncuff from comparison.
Thoughts?
He's so right. Because here's the thing. If you sit there and compare yourself to everyone else, you're not doing what God has given you to do. And I had a very spiritual moment this weekend where something that is on my heart that has been for a long time, I got amazing answers to. So don't compare your life with someone else's, because you're right where you're supposed to be and you're doing what God wants you to do.
At least we hope you're doing what God wants you to do. And that's something that's part of our daily grind that we're supposed to do here, is know what he wants us to do. One of the things, I don't know so much about the new Les Brown, but I know that the older Les Brown he's a great motivational speaker. I'm pretty sure he went to the Obama side back then and everything. And this modern stuff doesn't sound as inspired as it used to. But the old Les Brown that I listened to, he was truly inspiring. And one of the things that he said is, what's the richest place in the world? What has all of the wealth in the world? It's the graveyard. The graveyard has all the wealth because that's where everybody's ideas went with them that they never followed through with. I would say that that's truly a disappointment, because those are the things people had inspirations about, things that they wanted to do and they never brought it to fruition. And that was probably what they were supposed to do in this world for all of us.
Yeah.
So when we're inspired by something that is uniquely us, we shouldn't worry about what these other people do. We shouldn't worry about what those people do. They shouldn't matter, because that's for you. And what's been given to me is for me to do. And so we have to follow through with that very thing. If it came from inside of your heart and it's something that is for the greater good, something that's not just for yourself, then these are the things that we have to follow through with. Everybody's been given talents.
Yep.
Don't bury them. Aaron says, hey, I love comparing my life to someone else's. Helps me strive to be better if they're good people. You know, Aaron, I can appreciate where you're coming from, because that was a thought process that we used in the military all the time. And I was terrible at this because I hate running, and running sucks. And that is that when you're running, you try to pass the person that's in front of you. You always try to pass the person that's in front of you. And so long as you're trying to pass the person that's in front of you in a positive way, and it doesn't make your competitive spirit take over and convince you to do things that would be amoral or something that you otherwise would not do just for merely a win, as long as you're doing it right, then it's a healthy and positive motivation. But if to get in front of the other person you want to trip them, then that's, probably not a good thing, right? We don't need to use other people to get to the top, especially if it's something that we are inspired and it is our unique talent and gift. Just get good at what you do, and you will receive the keys to your own kingdom.
There you go.
Aaron says, if you see a neighbor that's a good guy, good values, honest, etc., and you love his boat and you don't have one, it's good to see what he's been doing. You can always learn. There's always places to learn.
Yep.
Aaron says, exactly, Santino. Nothing wrong with having good role models. And I think that that's what it is. It's what we do with the information that we have.
Yep.
Do you want to steal from other people? Do you
That's a
want to take their
problem.
ideas? That's a problem.
Yeah.
Do you want to hamper somebody else because they're doing good and it's a threat to how much you suck at whatever it is you do? That's on you.
Yeah.
But no use in making anybody else miserable because you already are.
Exactly.
That's where the growth needs to occur.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sit tight, because this one is going to hit you deep inside. Life is often compared to a winding river, and rightfully so. It's a journey filled with twists and turns, with moments of calm and turbulence. Sometimes we feel like skilled captains, charting our course with precision. Other times we're mere passengers, drifting wherever the currents take us. But here's the beautiful truth. It's not just about reaching a particular destination. It's about embracing every bend and stretch, every ripple and wave. It's about learning from the gentle meanders, as well as the roaring rapids. You see, the path we traverse shapes us, molds us, and reveals our true nature. It's in the journey that we discover our strengths, our resilience, and our capacity to adapt. It's during these moments of uncertainty that we uncover our passions, our purpose, and our connection to the world around us. So, when you find yourself at the crossroads of life, or when you're navigating through uncharted waters, remember that every twist in the river has a purpose. Every detour leads to growth, and every obstacle is an opportunity to learn and become a better version of yourself. Embrace the currents of life, for they carry the wisdom of experience. Trust that, no matter the path, you're on a journey that leads to self-discovery, fulfillment, and a life well lived.
We talk about this a lot. It's not the destination.
What would you do?
It started playing.
All right. Something in the background.
Yeah, which it never does. Anyway, weird. It's not about the destination. It's definitely the journey. It is us getting through this thing called life. And we're here for such a short time. And we must enjoy every path. And the thing about it is, as we move along and one door shuts, it's because God says, no, you're not supposed to go that way. You're supposed to go to the left. So you move. Go with the flow. Don't fight it. The only reason you're being moved is because God wants you moved to where he wants you to be, where he needs you to be. He knows what we're supposed to be doing. You want to tell God a joke? Tell him your plans. It's his plans, not ours. So go with the flow. Slow down. Enjoy the wave. Enjoy the ripples. And enjoy the journey. Seasoning?
We've shared it here in the past, and that was the Bruce Lee, be water, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Have to be able to flow with the situation that's around you. Even a river doesn't move in a straight line. It meanders and it moves along in some places, in other places it roars straight ahead. Follow. Be aware of what's happening. It's that awareness as to what's happening in that moment in life. And it may not be easy, but these are the signs that we're supposed to be paying attention to. Understand that. Don't go against the grain of how life is moving. Go against the grain about what these liars are telling you you're supposed to be doing, certainly. Because the water, I'm not going against the water. I'm going with the flow, man. Go with the flow, man.
Makes it easier.
It does.
It really does.
It does.
And one of the things that Santino and I love to do is road trips. And it's definitely not about the destination.
I remember being able to afford road trips once upon a time.
Yeah.
God, how long ago was that?
About 4 years
About
ago.
4 years ago, yeah. Huh. Anyways.
It was always about the destination. Or the journey, not the destination.
You lost it.
Okay.
Hey, shit happens. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
Anyways. Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you join us tomorrow at same dat time and same dat channel.
You are right, Aaron. Now it is driveway trips.
It is. Thanks for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. If you're over on Facebook, you have like 5 choices, and know that we absolutely love each and every one of you, and you guys make our day.
Y'all do. Thank you so much for being here. We love you all. Have a great night. Be safe, and God bless each and every one of you.